Hell yeah. So this video is going to be a tutorial potentially on how to get air in an R1 raft. And so this is brainwave on the lock saw, and it's probably one of the best waves to actually kind of launch. And I think there is a little bit of air. I'm not going to say this is an official air, but you know what I mean? I'm just making this video because a lot of things in R1 can happen, you know, probably pretty easier than you think. So one, I knew that this is a launching wave, and so I paddled hard at it. And then the other thing that I did is I thought I was actually fairly leaned back, but in R1 design also what would be very useful is from where you sit to the back, and if you can just shift your weight back here and make it more rockered, an actual J shape, where if you lean onto this J, then you can actually get this more vertical. Because what's happening, and this is from my R1 design, you know, of my current boat, is that if I am leaning back onto this surface, then as I'm coming in here, I can keep this bow at this height, and then just like an ollie, I can keep this you know, bow, or like the nose of the board up high, and then as I release off the wave, you can level out. And so a kayaker is going to do the same thing. And actually this shows that in R1 we have the advantage of moving around. A kayak, you're just going to have to be in the middle, but the fact that we can move to the back of the boat, that means that we can tack up onto this wave and fully release right here. Because you see, like between here and here, I'm already nose diving. Where if I leaned back and I'm more into this back corner, and I don't even think you'd have to do like an ear dip. Just being on this back corner, back tube, and having an edged boat. You know, my floor is protruded, but you have the floor contact and then the outer tube, and then definitely a J right there. And you're going to try to carry that momentum up to the wave and then keep this bow hella high, and then you're going to launch. The bow's going to fall no matter what, but it's just going to fall a lot later. And so hell yeah, and maybe you could actually get some visible air. So anyway, so let's just take a look at this one a few times. So in this clip, I thought I was leaned back like heavily, and that's not even the case. And I have a hard time going into holes knowing that I'll have to probably jump to the front of the boat to lean back. But what's going to happen is going over a hole in general, leaning back, keeping this contact with the water and keeping this bow up is going to allow you to not land in the trough, or if you do land, you're going to carry the stern of the boat. Holy hell, if I said the bow the entire time for this portion of the boat, I apologize. This is the stern, leaning back on the stern. And to where if you can get the stern to land right here and still have some upward angle, that's going to be useful. But you know, I mean, we just land kind of in a pile. This is a deep trough. That's why like the bottom just falls out, you know, and then you have to hit this wave. But hell yeah. And so hell yeah. So anyway, just a quick little tutorial is just like, hey, find a feature that you think you can launch on, and this is going to be primo. You have basically a wave above a hole, you know what I mean? And Hawaii 5.0 is kind of like this. I don't know if it's as steep, but hell yeah. I mean, this is your classic kick flip wave for a kayaker. You have a launch, you can get air, and then you have all this drop to do a move. And so from an R1 perspective, all you're trying to do is actually do a straight air. Hell yeah. Alright, so I'm done with this tutorial, but just in general, running holes, lean back. I think I need to lean back more and follow through more, even on this land, and still be okay with landing just a little bit back. Get ready to jump forward, but like right here I'm already you you know. But I think if you're going to land in the bottom of the hole, I mean, you right here, you got to get ready to high side. Like, this is instantaneous. But I don't know. Like, the thing that I've been working on, this is kind of maybe a separate thing, is that when you run features, if you are putting your weight at the back of the boat, you're going to get drive through. If you just jump to the front of the boat, you're going to stop the boat right there. You're trying to surf the boat into this hole, and then whatever is not touching the hole is going to get spun out or corkscrewed, where hanging tight and actually having this momentum and being near the back of the boat where you're traditionally sitting, that's going to help carry you through that wave. And so I just have a hard time. That might be one of the things that I'm not, you know, I spend most of my time jumping into the piles. But from this trip, I for sure need to spend more time back in this corner, back in the boat, and drive that momentum through a big stopping wave. All right, hell yes, we're going to be done with this. A little bit of air, not really. Not visible, but this was a tutorial. I'm like, hey, I wanted to make this tutorial basically for myself to be like, for sure, there's plenty of holes that you can launch. Like the Payette, North Fork of the Payette, for sure. A lot of steep. It's got high gradient, so it's got a lot of holes like this, where you are going to punch over a horizon line and get ready to blast up against, you know, something that's going to flip your boat anyway. Hell yeah. All right, thanks for joining me on this one. Booyah.